Hey, I'm cooperative divorce attorney Erika Englund, here today with...
I'm Keeley Nickelson. I'm an associate attorney at Forrester Purcell Stoll.
We are the Split Decisions team designed to help you live a better divorce life in any way that your life is impacted by divorce. So if it's not your own divorce, you definitely know someone who's been through it, and you might be a child of divorce or have friends or family going through it right now. So we want to help you support them through their divorce or help you get through yours during one of the most difficult times of the year, the holiday season. So we're here today to talk with you about the court's perspective on holiday custody disputes and to give you the information that you need to know if you, a friend, a family member, is having a problem with parenting during the holiday time. Keeley, in your experience that you have in court, do judges even consider holidays? Do they order these as part of a parenting plan?
So it's not so much the judges that consider it, it's more the mediators that you see prior to going to court. So whether you attend mediation at FCS, at the courthouse, or if you go to private mediation with a private mediator, those mediators will most likely make recommendations or help you and your co-parent come to an agreement regarding a holiday schedule. And we all know that the judges, most of the time, take the mediator's recommendations and rubber stamp them as the orders. So they are considered by the judge and by the mediator, and you will most likely get a holiday schedule when you go to custody court.
And so we missed a step there, which is prior to going into the courthouse, people that do have a dispute about parenting will go see a custody evaluator or a private mediator, and these report to the court and give the court an indicator of what should be ruled on in the parenting matter. And I say indicator, but it's pretty much, you say rubber stamped.
Right.
It becomes the order.
Right.
So if this isn't discussed as much as it needs to be in the mediation or evaluation, and people get into court and they still have a dispute about holidays, what's the default that a court typically will order if they don't have any information otherwise?
So if you go into court without a recommendation from the mediator or without an agreement that you've made in mediation, what most likely will happen is you'll take the major holidays and you'll share them on alternating years. So one parent might have Christmas on odd years and Christmas Eve on even years, and vice versa.
So it doesn't really take into account the specific circumstances of the family or the traditions or geographical location of other family members.
No, it doesn't. And that might be a reason for you to work hard with your co-parent prior to going to court to come to an agreement. Because if one parent, say, has family traditions on Christmas Eve or maybe the day after Christmas, those traditions can be accommodated if you consider them prior.
So if my former husband won't allow me to have Christmas this year, but my custody order says that I have a right to 2 weeks of vacation each year, then couldn't I just plan my 2 weeks of vacation right over Christmas?
Generally, no. Generally, a holiday schedule will
Also, I'd be an awful person if I did that.
Generally, a holiday schedule will supersede the other custody arrangement.
So the holiday schedule takes precedence over the regular parenting schedule and over the vacation schedule.
Yes.
So you can't get around it, people. Now, when we have a holiday schedule that's already in place and the parents decide that they want to change it, do they have to go back to court and tell the judge that this year they're swapping Christmas Eve and Christmas Day?
No. When you have a custody order, that's the default if you can't agree. But if you can agree to make changes by mutual agreement, you are free to do that. The safe way as an attorney, and what I would advise, is to put that change in writing and submit it to the court so the judge signs it and you have a new stipulation that becomes the order. But you could change the agreement without going to court if you agree.
Informally, if you
Informally,
agree.
yes.
And particularly if the court didn't consider your own family traditions. So my family does Christmas Eve every year. So if the court had us on alternating holidays, that means arbitrarily my children would miss my family celebration every other year. So if you have these things not considered in your court order, it's a good time to have a discussion with your spouse. If you're still having a conflict and we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, is there time to go into court right now and get a judge to allow you to do what you want to do with the children?
You're cutting it close. Generally, you want to think about this a little bit sooner, especially with Thanksgiving being just right around the corner. You might be able to get into mediation, though, before Christmas, and that might allow you to have a frank discussion with your partner, or excuse me, your co-parent, and you could come to an agreement there. That setting might enable you to come to a new agreement in time for Christmas.
Or even a private mediator, going to one session with a private mediator who will not report to the court, that could talk you through the interests and the concerns behind your respective positions in order to help you reach a holiday agreement.
Right.
So what do you really want your clients to know going into the holiday season? Let's pretend this is your client's first holiday season going through a divorce. What, as an attorney, do you want them to know?
The most important thing is that you have to realize that your co-parent, for the most part, is not trying to ruin your holiday, is not trying to take away your holiday with your kids. What you should focus on, and what your kids will focus on, is the time they spend with you. So no matter how old your kids are, it's not about December 24th, it's not about December 25th, it's about the time, the family, the traditions, and the love that they experience with you on any day of the year. So if you have to celebrate on the 24th instead of the 25th, that might mean something to you, but to your kids, it's about the time they spend.
They're going to remember the time and the traditions, not necessarily that it was the 23rd and not the 24th that they had Christmas Eve.
No, and it's a time to establish new traditions as well.
My children go to this darling little school where they have Christmas performances, holiday performances. So they have 3 holiday performances coming up from their school, their performance group, and then their music class. And with this kind of thing, are parents both allowed to go to these school events?
Of course. And you should encourage your co-parent to participate in holiday and school events with you and your children. Your kids will be better for it if they are participating in a special event and they look out and see both of their parents there. Just because it's on a Wednesday and it happens to be mom's parenting time doesn't mean dad can't come and enjoy and spend the time with the kids.
And we did a great video blog on how to get more than 50-50 parenting. And one of the ways is to engage in your child's activities that they have, school, athletic, extracurricular, artistic, so you can engage with your co-parent.
Right.
And if you sit next to your co-parent, you are going to be the coolest parents in the school. Trust me, you will. All right, well, Keeley, thank you so much for your information and your guidance on holidays. It sounds like what you want people to know is that this is kind of an afterthought in mediation, so there's not a lot of time to discuss it. There's a little bit of time, but you might end up with a default order, just swapping holidays back and forth. And if that doesn't work for you, talk to your spouse first, because it's a little late to get into court to try to resolve a dispute. You could file a motion to get into court and at least see the custody evaluator, or look to a private mediator if you just want to resolve something that's coming up on the immediate horizon. And most of all, it sounds like you're saying to people, don't be so entrenched in the day. Think about the tradition. Your former isn't trying to ruin you or destroy your children, and you have the choice and the opportunity to create your own traditions and keep your old ones. It just might require a little more flexibility this year, but focus on that. You're saying is what your children are really going to remember.
Exactly.
More than anything else. All right, Keeley, it's so good to have you on Split Decisions. Thank you very much. You can pick up our blog on this at splitdecisions.pro with more tips, information, and guidance, what your divorce attorney wants you to know about navigating the holidays. Thanks so much, and have a very happy holiday.